The week I was supposed to be on vacation, I missed a little bet that you guys had, and Adam just posted it on Shorts, and I wanted to kind of get in on this because I missed.
Get in on the Cybertruck
on the
bet?
Cybertruck bet, yeah.
Okay.
So I think the bet was 25 non-employees receive delivery by the end of 2023.
Yeah, will it actually happen? I say yes. Everyone else said no.
I'm going to agree with you on this one, actually, which...
Thank you. It's
Come on, hit the buzzard. I know you're looking for
on
it.
Its way, man. I'm telling you.
So, yes, I agree with you. I still think it'll be like under 100. I think it's going to be a very small amount.
Probably.
I don't think it's going to be a lot. I also, we're all excited about it, and everyone on Twitter is like, "Oh my god, it's coming." Bro, this got announced in 2019. Like,
oh no,
I know you're not.
Yeah.
I just need to say it. Like, we're excited, but like, man, this thing was out there, and I was just thinking, like, how many other EV pickup trucks have come out since it got announced, and just like the lead they thought they were going to have in the pickup space world, and how much they blew that lead away.
It's been really interesting. I don't know how much I thought it would matter that they were first to be an EV pickup truck. Like, yes, Rivian came out like before them, and that was their thing, was they were the first EV pickup truck basically to ship. And I don't know how much it helps to be the first one if it's $100,000. And then the F-150 Lightning comes out, and I am seeing a lot of them on the road, and it's an F-150, so it should be popular. But the Cybertruck also has, I don't know how many, I'll Google it, how many million pre-orders are there for the Cybertruck?
I mean, $100 refundable
Also
pre-order is like a weird, which for Tesla is a great little 4-year interest-free loan they got. But yeah, I kind of think it is pretty important, especially if you're not a company known for doing pickup trucks. So I think the fact that Rivian got in there first probably helped Rivian quite a bit to be able to say first EV pickup is. And then when Ford comes out, like, people who are Ford loyal are going to go for it.
Yeah, they had a ton of people in line. We were talking to Ford about this. They had like tons of people pre-ordering F-150 Lightning, and for many of them, it was their first truck, and for many of them, it was their first Ford. And so, like getting an EV just changes the equation for a lot of people. So, yeah, I think Cybertruck, it's still going to come out in this sort of newish age of EVs, and I think it's going to have an impact. It kind of reminds me of a hot take that I'm going to talk about in a hot take video, which I kind of want to spoil a little bit because I think it's one of the funniest ones. Should I just do it? Let's send it.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the hot takes that I'm going to address in the video with a little more precision than this is someone said the Cybertruck is going to outsell the F-150 by 2026.
Can I confirm the F-150 or the F-150 Lightning?
The F-150.
I did the same thing.
That person is
optimistic, I would say.
That person is, I don't even know a nice way to say it. That's one of the dumbest takes I've ever heard.
So you can convince
by what,
yourself
20
of this.
when?
2026, so 3 years.
Zero shot.
So, okay, but think of it this way. If you're a Tesla fan and you see, I'm going the most optimistic route, right? Okay, there's 1.5 million pre-orders of the Cybertruck right now, right? Let's say they start shipping at the end of this year and they make them all in the first 2 years. And by the time they start making them the third year, they have another 1 million people order. So by 2026, they shipped all the pre-orders and they're going to make another 1 million new orders. That would put it on pace to match the F-150. Now, the chances that they actually ramp up production that fast and sell all the ones and nobody cancels and they sell all the ones they made and make another 1 million orders, very, very low. But the F-150 sells like 600 to 900,000 every single year, and it's the most successful vehicle in America. So if you're saying it's going to overtake the most successful vehicle for the past 40 years running in 3 years, you're an optimist, and it's probably a hot take, and I like that it's hot, but it's probably not going to happen. Just putting it that way.
Yeah, I just don't think there's any shot that happens. I mean, it's 4 years of pre-orders, right? And even that is barely what Ford actually sells in
honestly,
a year.
I think most of the pre-orders happen in the first year.
I do think so also, but that's why I don't see that pre-orders getting finished and X amount more coming in. Like, you hit a very huge part of the ones that you think you're going to sell. Those aren't all going to sell, and then you're not going to get a higher influx once it actually comes out, especially with now R1T, Ford F-150 Lightning. I'll say the Hummer pickup truck, but like I don't think that's much. And the Silverado is already getting test driven by journalists now. So like there's quite a few.
Soon.
I think that comes out probably around the same time, and There's other options at this point.
Don't forget the Lordstown.
Yeah.
Sounded like you couldn't see through. If you're not watching the video version, I'm sorry for that. I don't actually mean that.
We were talking this morning because I wanted to say it's interesting how many pickup EVs got announced and delivered since the Cybertruck got announced. And I thought the Rivian was announced after, but it was actually a year before
the Cybertruck,
which I didn't realize. And I think that just kind of goes to prove that when you're an EV company no one knows about and you announce a truck, no one takes it seriously, because to me, until the Rivian started like showing up, I didn't really take them seriously.
Well,
so this Lordstown stuff, like no part of me considers this a thing that I'm going to ever see until I start actually seeing
That's totally fair. I think the difference is with Rivian, it was their first ever vehicle, and so it's hard to take anything they do seriously until they start shipping their first ever vehicle. Yeah. And that's true about Faraday Future, and that's true about Lordstown, and that's true about so many others. But why I think it's different with Tesla is it's not their first rodeo.
Agreed.
Which is why when I see them starting to test mules and roll around camoed versions of it, it seems like they're actually ramping up to something real. Where the others, I could never prove that.
Yeah, I agree. I think you clarified what I meant there is more like these new EV companies as their just first EV in general. Like Tesla's been around for longer, but it's also been 4 years. So maybe I shouldn't have given them as much trust as I thought I did.
Maybe it's impossibly hard to make an EV truck, and we're all learning.
But it's a simple stamp that so many fleets, they can just stamp out a bunch of them. That's why the design's like that, man. They'll just roll out like nothing in 4 years.
This thing is a 6,000-pound guillotine with electric motors.
I will say,
know what I mean? Like,
this is true, and I think it's weird because I keep hearing this about the Cybertruck, but like the Hummer EV and the Rivian are both over 7,000. I think the Hummer EV might be over 9,000.
It's 9,000.
And
the battery is 6,000.
Yeah, and it's bigger than the Cybertruck, and it's admittedly it's not sharp on the corners. Like that's definitely a difference, and I don't know how that plays into these tests or whether it'll get pulled or not.
It also has crumple zones. The Cybertruck, they're really big on the fact that like this thing won't crumple. It'll just go through
despite having a front trunk.
Whatever you hit.
Which is good for the occupant, but not whatever you hit.
It's good for the occupant in theory, right? Assuming you just do go clean through. But remember that the whole point of a crumple zone is to
slow you down.
It's to send energy around the vehicle, past the passenger compartment. So there is a very realistic chance that your truck will be perfectly fine and you will be like a Chef Boyardee can in this.
The windows are bulletproof, so you won't go through them. Yeah. Don't worry, you'll just splat up against them.
I feel like I should say before the Tesla boys come out.
Too late.
The Model 3 and the Model S are some of the safest cars money can buy.
Some of the biggest crumple zones in any vehicle.
Yeah, the NHTSA says like those are at the top of the chart. So maybe they've got some tricks up their sleeve. But to me, this just seems like they should make this illegal to drive around schools, right? There's no way any grade schooler could survive getting hit by a Tesla truck, which is so high off the ground they couldn't see them anyway.
I don't know how different it'll be than the Hummer EV.
The thing, even just outside of EVs, the trucks and like SUVs we're driving in America are so dangerous towards pedestrians every way, and we let them drive all the time. Like I just don't see anyone actually stopping the Cybertruck as being any more dangerous as these. The amount of times I've almost been like clipped on the side of a sidewalk in town because some lifted pickup truck.
I was just in Uber, in the city, and we were in like a Denali or a Yukon XL or something, and just like riding in it, I'm just like, we are kings of the road right now. Yeah. This is insane.
They're so high and they have such a big front and like front grill and everything. It's hard to see over. And if you're in the blind spot of them, it's dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Let's put a blade on it.
Yeah. Maybe. Let's make it go 0 to 60 in 3 seconds
and drive itself.
This is why the Hummer was hilarious when it came out. It was like
the Hummer terrifies me.
9,000-pound massive refrigerator of a vehicle can also do a 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. How does that make any sense?
I think the only reason I'm more scared of the Cybertruck is just I know there'll be more of them on the road. Whereas the Hummer EV, just like I think it's a pretty niche vehicle, so I'm not as. But like if I saw a Hummer EV on the highway, I probably would just pull over, take a break, and just like wait for that thing to be far away from where I am. And
that's fair. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if the deliveries happen, and then. If they reverse the deliveries, we'll have to come back to that bet. Yeah. But
I stand. It's not. I don't think it's coming out this year. I really don't. All right, welcome to the Clips outro. We're going to keep this trivia party going. Marquez, how many penguins are there in the world?
About 30 million penguins.
Andrew, how many birds?
50 billion?
How many whales are there in the world?
Almost 1.5 million.
How many elephants are there in the world?
450K.
Are there more foxes than elephants in the world?
I'm going to go with no.
But not too much, though.
Yeah, there's only 300,000 foxes.
How many Waveform subscribers are there in the world?
Not enough.
Not
Click
enough.
the subscribe button.
There's
I
about
wanna-
to be one more.
This is a Clips outro, which means it's a Clips channel, which means I'm going to go with like 328,000.
Plus one.
I think it's 330.
Because of you.
Or did you?
I have no idea.
Remember to like and subscribe.